Hi, this is Tamby with another My Childhood Story video, still in the foster care area. Um, I want to put a disclaimer out that this might be sensitive to some viewers because of the fact of it talks about trauma and abuse in the sorry, I've done a lot of these child and family services videos and abuse in family home and stuff like that. It's not too detailed, but if you know yourself well and this is something that might cause you some issues or cause traumatic trauma to unfold and you know that this may not be the video for you, I'm sorry, but I don't want to be the cause, so you might have to click off the video, but at your discretion, um, your choice, you can watch the video. Like, I want people to watch my videos if they're able to handle it, and it's okay. Like I've said in a couple of these my story videos, if you guys need any type of support whatsoever, please message me on Facebook, Instagram, or an email is okay too. If my email or none of my social medias are in any of the videos, my story videos, feel free to find them on my other videos because I was at one time just putting them in all my videos that I was doing so that people could contact me, because I do also give spiritual services. It especially is helpful with people who have dealt with a lot of trauma, even childhood trauma. It helps them to find sorry, it's been a long day. Coping mechanisms and things to just help you get through life so it doesn't feel like you're just surviving. You want to live life to the fullest, not just survive, and I really know how that feels. So if you are interested in my services, I have a website on Wix, and it's called Empress Space. And we would love to have you on the website and to get you some help. Or even if you just need a friend. I do spiritual guidance, I do ghost hunting videos, like I have a lot of fun. So if you are interested, just get a hold of me on my social medias or on my website, and I will try to remember to put the link in the description. Alright, we're gonna get started. So I know by the end of the video I got really teary. Like, I was really emotional. I had to give myself 10 minutes after the video just to get some water and breathe because, I mean, it was very sensitive for me. And to be honest, to post these videos is very hard. But I know this is going to help my healing. I know I have to be ready for people to cyber attack me and like tell me that I'm a liar and all this other stuff. Like, I'm just ready for someone to bully me or be a jerk on here, because that's just how some people are. But that's okay. Like, if you want to bully me, I think there's just something really wrong with you that you're really struggling with. You might need to start releasing that because bent up negative energy will hurt you. And if you need my help, like, I'm willing to help. Like, I don't care if you bully me, like, I will help you if you want it. But let's go further in the video since I rambled on for almost 5 minutes without the actual topic. So yes, I got really emotional at the end of the video, and I think it was part 5, and this is part 6. So I got into the foster family with John and Sherry, and I'm 16, and like, it was awesome. So my first night at John and Sherry's in Summers, Montana. It's like 10 minutes from Kalispell, Montana. And it's like right next to the lake. It was on a small farm. There was horses and cows. It was great. After a while, though, me and my foster mom started butting heads because it's always her way or the highway, and that wasn't good for our rebel teen. Some very bad things happened within that. I'd rather not get into detail with that. But I got and I love my foster mom, okay? So the next things I'm going to say does not mean that I don't love my foster mom, because I do. But with my foster dad, we grew more of a bond, and he means everything to me. He has been there for me ever since we met. He's always been my dad. He's always helped me and supported me and loved me in most of the stuff that I've done. If I've gotten in a little pickle, he's immediately there. Like, he fills that hole in my heart that my biological father is not there. It feels like he was supposed to be my birth father. And I think spiritually, like, he's my soul tribe. He's someone that's part of my soul tribe that we've met before in another life, and we were close then too. And he's still there for me. Even though he's going through the hardest time himself, he just drops things, and it makes me feel bad because he has a life and he's amazing. He's dealing with some pretty hurtful things. I don't want to go into detail because it's not my business to tell, but he just drops things for me. And I can't ever repay him for being such an amazing father to me. Sorry, I've been really emotional lately. But yeah, things were really amazing at the home. I was struggling big time because of the medication, and I was testing my limits. I beat myself up every day that I ruined it. I got mad, and I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. And the minute I said it, I regretted it. But because I wanted to stay, or because of my pride, and I wanted to act tough like an idiot, I was like, I kept up on that lie that I wanted to leave. Then, because they were trying to respect my wishes, they put me, and I was 17, they put me in a youth home in Kalispell. Now, I will agree that youth home wasn't bad to me. But 2 weeks later, I was still pumping that lie up. Internally, I was just screaming at myself. I was screaming at myself, and I was mad at myself at the same time, but I didn't want to show it. I didn't want to show that I was being an idiot. I did not want to show I didn't want to show that I was wrong. And 2 weeks later, my foster parents came to the youth home, and they still loved me. But they're like, we found somewhere for you to go. It was back at that group home. Galen, the one that abused me all those years. And I still did not stand up and say, no, I don't want to do this. I want to come back home. And I became furious. And I acted like I was angry at everyone else, but really I was just angry at myself. And I was like, I'm not going. You can't make me go back there. And then I was threatened by one of the staff that if I did not go, they would force me. So instead of making things difficult, I went. I could have fixed it. I could have said I wanted to come home, and I didn't. I don't know why I was like that. In my head, I was just internally screaming, and I wanted to communicate, but I wasn't taught to communicate. And I feel so awful. But basically, I got a ride there to the group home, and I got in through the front door with my stuff, and the staff, Gene, was still there, causing havoc, and he looked at me and started laughing, and I said, what? And he was like, I bet $50 you were coming back. And I was just so mad. I was like, why would you do that? It's almost like you jinxed it. Like, that is so mean. Like, all I wanted was a home that loved me, and I had it, and I messed it up, and then he had to go and run his mouth. He thought it was the most hilarious thing on the planet, and that he got $50 because I came back. And throughout that time, because I had like 6 or 7 months until I was 18, those were horrible 6-7 months. After a month of being back there, I was able to express it about how angry I was at myself. I was just on my bed and I was crying and I was so upset. And I'm normally not a loud crier, but that day I was. I realized what I did. I realized, and I felt like such an idiot for not speaking up. Felt like an idiot for ruining it. I like self-sabotaged without even realizing it until way later. So I cried for hours, just so angry and emotional and hurt that I ruined the number one thing I wanted. And my time there just got worse and worse and worse. They were making me hold my pee, making my bladder even worse. There was even times where they made me hold my pee for an hour, and they would just keep upping the time. Anytime I went to the bathroom before the time was up, they would write me up and put me on suicide watch, because apparently the doctor told me and the staff that to teach my bladder how to hold it because of all the messed up things of where they forced me to hold it to the point where I peed myself in other places, including there, and being my own pee, which is gross. Because of all that, I really struggled holding it, and it was always an emergency, me having to run to the bathroom. And so the staff said it was doctor's orders. It makes no sense why a doctor would say that when they know, like, it's everywhere. You do not hold your pee like that. Like, that's how you get UTIs. And I was just in so much pain all the time. I had really, really bad cramps. And because they were forcing me, sometimes they would even guard me from the bathroom and wouldn't let me in there until I ended up accidentally peeing myself. And then they would tell me I was not allowed to change my pants, that it was my fault that I got myself in that situation. And I remember repeating and getting mad and being like, I can't wait until I'm an adult. I can't wait until I'm out of here. Like, I want to leave so bad. And because I was so frustrated and I was always verbal and always trying to, like, stand up for myself, the therapist got in my face and threatened that if I kept trying to stand up for myself, that they were going to put me in Warm Springs. Which Warm Springs is a hospital, and I don't know if they have kids there. It's I don't want to say it in this way, but at the moment I can't figure out another way to explain it. But the hospital is like a psycho hospital for people who are delusional, crazy, blah, 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 dealing with drugs. And the therapist threatened me that if I didn't stop sticking up for myself, that she was going to make sure that I was not free. She would make sure that I was locked up for life in Warm Springs. And so when I turned 18, my foster family, and I had saved $300 on my own. On my own, I saved $300 because I got an allowance. And I saved half of my allowance every week because I would get $10 a week in my allowance. And I would save $5 every week in an envelope. And then I would spend the other $5 on anything that I wanted on the weekend. But I would save $5 every week from my $10 allowance every week in the thing. So that whole time I was saving money, investing, and I had saved $300. I was so proud of myself. I was so ready to have it in my hand and be able to get like a laptop for school or get into my own place after I lived with my mom for a while and we reconnect. But they refused to give me the money that I worked so hard to save. And they gave it to my foster family. And my foster family gave it to a payee because I'm on Social Security benefits. I don't make enough to live off of. And so basically, when my payee got a hold of it, my payee gave it away. And he didn't give it away just because I was on Social Security. Like, no. But I was so mad because like I saved so hard with that money and I couldn't even spend it on anything that I wanted. And so I lived with my mom. I was 18. And after 2 months of living with my mom, I was just, within the 2 months, like at first, the first couple weeks was great. And then she had people moving in with her, and I was still on the medication, and I was just acting out and saying things I shouldn't to my mom, like really hurtful things that I would later on feel so guilty. And then I got off the meds, and within a certain amount of time, like within a couple weeks to a month, this fog from being on the medication had lifted. Not all the way, but it lifted just slightly. I was able to control my actions after I stopped taking the meds. I stopped taking the meds because I got pregnant. I lost my virginity. Galen told me, oh, I bet you like 2-3 months into you turning 18, you're going to lose your virginity and have a baby. Like, I know you. And I ended up getting pregnant. And I ended up miscarrying. And that started a whole bunch of drama with my mom and my ex at the time. We were together at that time. And his mom. His mom was very, very bossy. The baby's father was 23. And he let his mom control his every move. It was insane. Like, when I dropped out of high school because I was really stressed out, she threatened me and him and said that if I didn't go back into school, she would not allow me to date her son, who is 23 and lives on his own. Well, technically he was had a blow-up bed at his mom's house. But like, she was like so controlling. She was nuts controlling. Like, my mom's like, oh, your boyfriend can stay the night because it's too dark and it's dangerous and we don't want him to get hurt. He's like, oh, well, I have to ask my mom. And like, I understand him calling his mom to be like, hey, I'm staying at my girlfriend's house tonight to make sure, you know, because I would want my son to let me know where he's going so I know he's safe and when he plans to come back. But it didn't work out that way. He called her to ask permission, and she said no. She said it's rude and disrespectful to stay at a girl's house. A girl's house that he's dating. So because of the threat, I decided to go back to school so that I could stay in the relationship with Justin. Oh, shit. What's that his name? And I don't know how to bleep. Oh, well. We still talk. We still talk. After we didn't talk for like several years, now we're talking again. But basically, that went all crazy. And I was stunned about how it felt when he broke up with me. Because at first he didn't believe I was pregnant. Because everyone around me that was around when I did the test lied and said that that never happened, that I never did a test in front of them, even though it was bright positive, and I actually didn't even know how to read a pregnancy test. I literally had to have my sister-in-law read it out to me of what it meant. And she was like, oh, guess what? Tammy's pregnant. And so I was preggo. And I ended up losing the baby. To this day, I've always felt like that baby was a boy. I could just feel it in my bones. I can feel the baby's energy sometimes around me, even still. And I told myself that if he was a boy, I was going to name him Jacob Lee. And, yeah. So I ended up becoming homeless because I was rather being homeless than living with my mom, but it was like off and off. I was homeless for a couple months, and I stayed with my mom, and we were back and forth. But that is going to be the end of this video, and this is what we're going to talk about next is my time being homeless. Yes. So I hope you guys are safe out there and have a healthy and safe time. All right, bye.